Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for another Monday edition of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at Cracking Cryptocurrency. Hope you're doing fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. And of course, we are here today on Monday, April the 29th, the last Monday of the month of April, Val year of our Lord 2019. Hopefully, you guys are doing fantastic. Slow day in the chat today. This is kind of a little odd. It's all right. We'll get going here. Ricky Thompson says, what a slow morning. The penny stock market is super sucky today. Nothing really to short. Unlike the cryptocurrency market, where there is a lot to short if you are so entitled. So anyways, guys, hopefully you're doing fantastic. If you have any questions, comments, or sarcastic remarks, please drop them in the chat and we'll get going. Nothing really exciting to go over as far as news this morning. Doing a lot of work last night on my Minx indicator and, of course, the upcoming course videos that we're going to have for the premium subscribers moving forward in May. Really excited to get that out there. And really, it was an awesome weekend. Weekends are always tricky for me as a single father, but we get through and it's good and it's good times. So we'll go over here and look at what Bitcoin's doing. Obviously, putting in some volatility here over the I wouldn't say over the overnight session, but definitely during the last few hours here after waking up. So basically trading right into the New York Open. It's pretty interesting times. Stephen Hyatt, good morning to you, sir. All right, let's switch over to the charts and let's break some stuff down, guys. All right, so here we are. We're going to start off with our. We're gonna go ahead and look at the weekly closes. So we'll go ahead and pull open the Bitstamp chart. Go ahead and pull open the Bitstamp chart and do our weekly analysis of how the weekly candle closed. And we'll point out what we've got our eye on and what we're looking at here. So obviously last week we did close the Bitstamp weekly chart with the weekly time transformation sell signal, which is the first sell signal that we've gotten on the weekly chart since the top of the market. In time transformation we trust. Now, of course, listen, with any indicator or with any strategy, you are going to want some levels of confluence to try to, you're going to want some levels of confluence to back up your indication. There's no magical indicator out there. There's no magical indicator. It's always going to catch the tops and always catch the bottoms. Although time transformation does do a fantastic job of doing that, you have to understand the actionability of these signals and look for confluence with your own strategy as well. However, I do put a lot of weight onto that as well. Of course, we were talking about these purple dots of death leading up to that. And of course, that is just our warning sign, right? On the weekly chart was not actionable, right? Just as we can see that we were getting weekly dots of death on the run up to the top in 2017. Let's see here. They started 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. We had 4 weeks, so 1 whole month of overbought conditions on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin before we actually did generate that confirmed sell signal. And what do we have over here? We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 weeks. Similarly, we had 4 weeks of run up of the purple dots of death, just warning us the conditions were oversold before we did get that weekly, strong weekly sell signal. Now, here's the thing. We have to understand that the market was already over frothy. The market was already overheated. And although the Bitfinex tether rumor that came, not the rumor, but the allegations that came out and the evidence that we do have. And of course, if you guys have not seen my video on the Bitfinex tether FUD explained by a professional trader, I recommend you go check that out. It's quickly becoming one of our most popular videos, but it's over there on the channel. If I was more technologically inclined, I'm sure I could figure out how to insert a card live. But the last time I tried to do that, I inserted a slate and it was a gray slate of death. So we will not do that. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry if I just clicked a button. I did not mean to do that. Give me 1 second. I want to see what just happened here. Okay, cool. It doesn't seem like I broke anything. Crypto Meister, good afternoon to you, good sir. Andrew, Backed acquires the crypto custodian DACC. I did want to talk about that a little bit. We'll go ahead. I've actually got the link over here. There's a couple different links. Let's go ahead and copy the link address, and we can talk about that a little bit. And just kind of leading in almost to that. Here we go. All right. Leading into that same kind of, not fundamental, but I'd say slight conspiracy theory that we were talking about previously, basically saying that, okay, well, we do have to understand that although Bitfinex was engaged in malfeasance, and although funds were misappropriated and mismanaged, and essentially they lost nearly $1 billion of commingled corporate and client funds, as well as robbing the Tether treasury without really a good plan in mind. We do have to understand that Bitfinex's claims that they had this agreement back in November with the Tether treasury is not legitimate. The truth of the matter is that they did panic. They took the funds so that they could cover customer withdrawals, and then they walked that information back and fabricated a timeline in which they were basically acting above board, so to speak. So anyways, yeah, so IC's Bax did announce the acquisition of a digital asset custody company this morning, so DACC. So this is going to be their multi-cryptocurrency custody, because again, when we're talking about physically delivered cryptocurrencies, the big issue does become one of custodianship, right? Who actually holds the coins? Do you want the exchange holding the coins? No, they're going to want to use what's commonly known as a clearinghouse. They're going to in traditional markets and traditional exchanges, you use a clearinghouse. Now, the interesting thing about cryptocurrency exchanges, most of them act as broker and clearinghouse themselves. But in the realm of traditional markets, the broker and the exchange typically does not act as the clearinghouse. It's going to be a third party. So this is going to be the third party company that's actually going to handle the custodianship of the coins and is going to specialize in that. Just as BitPay acts as a cryptocurrency custody company for lots of companies that process cryptocurrency payments, Bitcoin in particular. And to elucidate on that a little bit, BitPay has created their own proprietary wallets, created their own proprietary software, created their own proprietary APIs so that their customers can integrate with their platform and be able to send and receive and store and transfer their cryptocurrencies and keep them secure. They have multi-signature wallets, they have cold storage options, they have hot storage options, they have just different elaborations of the Bitcoin wallet. So Bitcoin, when people have asked me this before, they're like, hey, BitPay, what wallet do they use? They use Electrum? It's like, no, they've created their own. You can create your own wallet out of software. It's not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not easy, but it's really not difficult, right? Like, for example, I have a friend who forked Litecoin. It's really not that difficult to do a lot of this stuff. It's all open source if you know what you're doing. Alex Rios made it again, brother. Good to see you, man. Crypto Meister, of course, good to see you over there on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Jeremy Bai says, good morning, Justin. I feel we are in a calm before the storm. As do I. What's interesting is, especially if we go over to tensor charts, though. So here's tensor charts for Ethereum USD. And I was just basically watching. We saw this big pocket of liquidity get tagged here. Now, if we do, I'm still short on Ethereum because I don't see any indications of a trend reversal. Now, this was a good scalp. Do not get me wrong. It's a very good scalp, but it's just not indicative of a strong shift in trend. Now, Ethereum, Bitcoin looking a little bit differently, honestly. So that was a good 3% trade there on Ethereum. Nobody can account for that. But if we look over at, in general, what the larger positions are doing over the last hour, over the last few hours, we do see that the sellers are stacking into the market. And if we do take a look at the order book, let's actually drop this down for a little bit of increased efficiency right here. We actually, what's interesting is we do see the bid side stacking up pretty nicely around 153 to 150. So we've got quite a significant amount of bids there. Actually, the ask book is not super thick right now. So this could, I don't want to put the cart before the horse because again, I'm already in great profit on my Ethereum short. And even if price does retreat back up here to my lower entry price, then it's impossible for me to make a loser on this trade. But again, nothing that I'm looking to go long. And I did talk yesterday about the potential to get a short squeeze going into the morning, coming into the New York Open. Did we get that? No, we didn't necessarily. We actually got a long squeeze, interestingly enough, if you really want to consider it that way. Because if we go over here and, let's go through the weekly analysis, then we'll go down to the daily, then we'll finally get into the day trading setups for Bitcoin today. But anyways, so here on the weekly time frame, again, getting continual rejection from the weekly 55 exponential moving average as we were kind of expecting. Unable to close the weekly above it, getting that strong weekly sell signal off of it. If we play out the most likely pattern, then price does eventually pull back down here to tag the weekly 13 exponential moving average that's currently sitting around 46.47, which puts us nicely in that $4,600 to $4,700 kind of good pocket of support. Now, if that level fails, then I do fully expect us to test 4,200, potentially even see lower lows. But as far as we are looking at right now, we're looking for a healthy pullback to 46. We're still above the weekly momentum. We've lost the daily momentum, but we still have the weekly momentum. So even though we have received rejection, this just lets us know that unfortunately for all the long-term bulls, we are not in that overextended, very bullish, very optimistic bullish market yet. Again, breaking above the weekly 55 exponential moving average would put us in a long-term bullish trend. Still looking for that initial rejection from the $6,000 region. That's based off slightly different fundamentals than the weekly time frame. That's from a macro analysis of generally where liquidity is in the market. But again, we will take that we move with the market. So the best laid plans of mice and men, because I'm going to sit here and I have my analysis of exactly where I want to react in the market. But of course, the market is always shifting. So right now, nothing has significantly shifted on the macro time frame for what I'm looking at. Going down to the 3-day chart, we also have the 3-day. We also have the 3-day sell signal. Now we did previously get a 3-day sell signal on the close of on the close of the 16th of the April. 3-day candle. This candle actually opening on the 13th of April. Now, we did get a 3-day sell signal. Price actually did put in 9 more days of bullish activity, right? So it is just one of those things. Typically, when we same with the purple dots of death. So we haven't got a 3-day sell signal on the 3-day time frame since the top of the market back over here. And if we look and see how many purple dots of death we got similarly there, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on the 9th we actually did reverse. So actually, if we look over here and look at what price is doing, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So, just an interesting kind of fractal analysis of how these 3-day sell signals have played out previously in the past with time transformation. So as we can see, we did have 7 run up daily purple dots of death on the 3-day time frame before price actually reversed at the top of the market in December 2017. And then here in April of 2019, we actually had 8 purple dots of death. In fact, throwing in a fake out sell signal to the downside before actually putting in that more powerful signal, all right? Let's go down to the daily, which really is the most tradable time frame. And what do we have? We still have the daily trading below the baseline, right? So although I would not be surprised to see a short squeeze, especially because we are seeing a lot of bull wicks to the downside, but unfortunately, price is just not able to put in some good bullish momentum. We haven't seen that bullish spike in volume. We've seen really nothing but consolidation and overall bearish activity. So exactly a calm before a storm. And typically, what do you see after a high momentum candle to the downside? When you see a high momentum candle to the downside and you just see this weak sideways consolidation, typically the levy breaks and you get more continuation to the downside. But just be aware of the sinister nature of especially your leverage exchanges like BitMEX. And so, for example, when the short squeeze comes, if you're not already in a position, if you don't have your limit order set, if you are trading on BitMEX, you're not going to be able to get filled, because by the time you're able, even if you've got BitMEX opened up, you're not going to be able to trade, because if it's a peak moment when the whales want to trade on BitMEX, they're going to lock you out. You're going to get system overload. And this is one of the reasons why I am vehemently moving off of BitMEX. What they're doing is if you guys think that what Bitfinex is doing is fraudulent, which of course it is, if you think that system overload is any less fraudulent, from the eyes of a trader, from somebody who this affects my day-to-day trading activities, I don't mind the idea that retail traders are going to generally get fleeced by institutional order flow. That just is the nature of the game. But if it is going to happen, which it is going to happen, I want it to occur on an equal playing field, right? If you're going to get fleeced, it's because you're entering and exiting in bad positions, and they're entering and exiting in good positions. Not because they can enter whenever the hell they want, and because you can't enter and exit whenever the hell you want, right? When there's certain times when they lock you out so the whales can only do their thing. So if you're tired of that, of course, you guys should go trade on ByBit, which is where I'm actively trading my Bitcoin right now. I do have my link in the description down below. You can get $10 free to trade on the exchange and check it out for free if you're so inclined. So moving on here with Bitcoin, the daily time frame here, we're still below our daily baseline. So there's nothing interesting here for a trending movement to the upside, right? We have time transformation crossing below the zero line. We have Wadatar confirming the bearish trade as well. Now, from a supply and resistance standpoint, we do have some equal highs generated right above here. So actually, let's go over to the BitMEX chart to look at that. And when we're looking at the BitMEX chart, which is of course what we're going to be using, we do have these equal highs right here. This is an untapped level of liquidity. We also have this high up here that is yet to be rated. So looking at that, looking at the general nature of how the BitMEX markets move, or how the Bitcoin markets moved on the leveraged exchanges before you see a significant move to the upside or the downside, you would expect to see those levels of liquidity get tapped. So similarly down here, we were looking at this untapped level of liquidity here. We had these 3 fairly equidistant lows. You also have these lows here and these lows here. And my thought was that if we do end up closing below this 50-90 area, then I definitely wanted to target the bottom of the range right here. So if we can just zoom out and we can see the 3 different range bottoms right here, we can see the range low and the range high here. We can see this range low, we can see this range low, right? Which that lower range is that $46.50 area. So let's zoom in on that a little bit here more on the hourly chart. Where is $46.50, which is going to be very congruent with that weekly 55 exponential moving average. that's actually the bottom of this range right here, where we have two equal lows that have yet to been tapped for liquidity, right? So there is going to be a lot of liquidity in this zone. If we look here, we have two equal lows, so we know there's going to be liquidity here. So let's actually go ahead and flesh this out a little bit now that we're live on air. So let's go ahead and mark and denote that we have not yet tapped this liquidity, right? Have not tapped this liquidity, nor have we tapped this liquidity right here, okay? So these are two areas where there's likely to be a lot of liquidity in the market, and that lines up very nicely with our longer term analysis of a good target to the downside or a good supportive area, that 46.50, and also revisiting this area. Now, again, should we break that level and get a daily close below, I do fully expect us to go back and retest the zone of breakout in the $4,000 to $4,200 range, basically retesting the equilibrium zone of the market. So other than that, not a whole lot has changed, honestly, guys. We still have, this is just how it goes. We had a bearish order block. It was broken. We assumed it would be a bullish order block. Unfortunately, we had some fundamental events, some news events pushing us down. This has now become a bearish breaker or a bearish order block, and we are looking for any retests back into that zone to enter into our short. As you can see here, as soon as price broke down through the bullish breaker, through the bullish order block, any revisits back into that area, you can see we get rejected from our hourly 13 exponential moving average and the equilibrium zone of that bearish breaker, and price descends to the downside. Price attempts to get back up into it and breaks down. So you guys can see where we are looking to target for the shorts as well, in good profits as well. And the funding rate continues to be extremely negative. Now, that's something interesting that I did want to point out, is this tweet right here. And we'll talk a little bit more about fact here in just a second. But let's go look at this tweet right here. And this is coming from Suzu, and he's saying funding rates to borrow Bitcoin on Bitfinex has hit over 100% annualized. This funding has rippled to BitMEX as well. At these rates, if you are short, if you have a long-term short position on XBT-USD, on the perpetual swap contracts, it takes a little over 1 month for a 10x short to get liquidated. Even if Bitcoin doesn't move, a 50x short will get liquidated in underneath a week. So, so keep that in mind when you guys are opening up your long-term positions on the perpetual swap contract. If you are looking to establish a longer-term position, there's nothing wrong with trading on the perpetual swap, but generally the perpetual swap is going to be fantastic for day trading and scalping setups or shorter intraday trades, and your longer-term setups are going to serve you very well on the futures markets, right? So you can go out to the U19 contract, doesn't close until September, so you can set your bet on where you think the price of Bitcoin will be as late as September. The last Friday in September is when the futures contract would close. Ricky Thompson says, you're still on, not like the weekend. Christian Zeladon, good to see you. Can you give me your opinion on VUZI on a good bottom entry target right now or off the triple Q sell-off? Thanks. Let's see here. I'm gonna look at that on the NASDAQ, I'm assuming. So I don't have, there's no area on here. We're below the lows. So when you're at an all-time low, I'm not looking for any bottom target. You never want to be the guy that's calling the bottom in a bear market. You never want to be the guy that's calling the top in a bull market. So since we've broken through all levels of support, what does this have to do for me to be even mildly interested in taking a trade on VUZI? And again, this is just my trading strategy. So I like to buy reversals when I have a breaker that I can target, or when I am trading in the direction of the dominant trend. So say price is above the daily 13 exponential moving average, I'll buy pullbacks to the daily 13 exponential moving average, especially if I get a lower time frame buy signal on time transformation, for example. But when you have a situation like this, you can just see that all you're doing is attempting to catch a knife. Now there are potential areas, like for example, the daily time transformation signals haven't done too bad. You know, they set you up for some good percentage trades right here. A little bit of drawdown on that one, but ultimately a good trade potential right there. But yeah, as far as establishing a good position for the long term, there's nothing about this that excites me. Price needs to close very convincingly above the 13 exponential moving average. I need to get a nice crossover of time transformation to the upside, and I need Wada Atar to put in some nice bullish volume. And then I'll look for trades back up to the daily secondary baseline, which is going to be our daily 55. So that's a good trade. That's going to be a 15 to 20% trade, and I would focus on that rather than these small scalps. And again, that's just how I look at traditional markets. And not all traditional markets, but just in general, this chart right here. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, this is a bad chart, man. It's a bad chart. I would recommend you go find something else. Blockchain gains number 7. Good to see you, man. Max X, how can we be sure that Tether funds were actually seized? Because Bitfinex admitted that they were seized. Like Bitfinex legitimately said, like, yes, we took the Tether money. So the Tether funds were not seized. Bitfinex's money was seized, and in return, Bitfinex took reserves from the Tether treasury. And Bitfinex admits that they do not have access to the money at Crypto Capital Corporation. And interestingly enough, somebody had sent me a link, and this was actually an older link, about how the Polish government, had reported in one of their newspapers that they had seized like $350 million, believed to be associated with Bitfinex and believed to be associated with drug trafficking money. Alex Rio says, cryptocurrencies will change the world with some of the most noticeable effects when mass adoption takes place after our coming bull markets. I do believe that Bitcoin will change the world, absolutely. They claimed Poland seized them. So Crypto Capital Corporation, who is the third-party payment processor that has the money, they claim that Poland, the United States, and one other country. Portugal, Poland, and the United States. Blockchain Gain says, hashtag learn to code. I highly recommend that you do. Through CIT, what's going on, man? BNB went down today. Stellar Lumens did as well, but BTC, it seems, is holding very well. It is consolidating. Go take a look over at CZ Coin. All right, so about to lose the daily 13 exponential moving average. We did get that nice wick down into our buy zone right now, but again, now we are losing the daily baseline. This does become less of an attractive buy. If we look at what time transformation is telling us, we did have that attempted cross up to the upside, and now that fresh cross down beneath the 0 line. So this is a fake out. That if this does end up closing like this, yes, this would be a confirmed fake out. Okay. Keep in mind though, we are still putting in a little bit of a higher low, so you could give it the benefit of the doubt, but I would not want to. I would want to be out of the trade right now because we haven't gotten the nice bullish reactionary and reclamation of that daily baseline. So again, still looking at our daily 55 exponential moving average and our buy zone until that's disrespected, and then there's just no interest in buying. There's no interest in buying. Wadatar is also about to signal a short as well. So, yep. The New York Attorney General's court filing said who seized it. So there's no proof that the funds have been seized by government authorities. That is what Crypto Capital Corporation claims, right? And then we have some unrelated news events, but the countries haven't come out and said, yes, absolutely, we have these funds. Because it's all, you have to understand that's a difficult proposition because you have commingled funds laundered through many different banks and many different people's names. So it's not like you have a bank account and it's, Max X's bank account, and you have this $50,000 deposit. The government takes it, and you can point and look and say, hey, that's my bank account. Here's my social security number or my, FEID number. And, this is a little bit more complicated, and intentionally so. My point is, how would you know those funds actually existed in the first place? Oh, that's a good point. I would reckon I don't have any reason to believe that they didn't exist. Dominus Spinay, good to see you. Thoughts on Digitex? Well, I haven't looked at it today. Has it skyrocketed? Getting a daily buy signal on time transformation. Wadatar still signaling a short. A little bit overbought. Did you put in any bullish divergence? No, you put in you might put in a little bit of hidden bullish divergence. It's a pretty good trade for the people who bought the bottom. Let's see. Gotten 1, 2, 3 buy signals on time transformation. One was good. One was really good. This one sucked. We'll see if this one's any good. The sell signals have been really, really good on the daily time frame. Yeah, I mean, nothing that I'm interested in, guys. I don't trade, you know, if it's not on Binance, I'm not even interested in trading it though. And it's just too risky, man. Seized in Poland is the story. I've seen no proof of that. David Rice, good to see you. They didn't even have a contract with the bank they gave the $850 million to. They didn't, so it wasn't a bank, it was a payment processor. Has this market been beaten down so much that no new money is coming in to create more trading volume? The volume that we have is the same money that is being recycled, which is too low. This is true. This is why the Bitwise report claims that yeah, baby, that's what I was waiting on. Finally, I had a position that I woke up to and was red, and I like, all right, well, trade's still on, and now we're green. Finally, everything across the board is green. Good to see. Yeah, I would posit that even with all the bullish information and news coming out, I would argue against that. I do think that a lot of new volume came into the markets. I think that a lot of new volume came into the markets right around here. And what we're seeing is extensive profit taking. And I think this profit taking is likely to increase. And we're going to have to see how the tether fundamentals shake out. Can my stop loss be rejected on BitMEX during overload? It can. Yep, I've seen stop losses be skipped over, especially stop limits. Here's the thing. So a stop market order should not get rejected, but you do run the risk of not getting filled at your price. I've seen that, right? So let's talk about like this wick right here that we just had on BitMEX, right? So for example, somebody might be like, well, okay, I'm going to set my stop market right here, right? I'm going to set my stop market at 51.18, and then they wake up and realize that they got filled at 50.77. I've seen that a lot. Seen that a lot. Conspiracy theory. Bitfinex never had the funds, made up the seizure using shell companies to be able to print 900 million tethers to themselves. I don't think so, man. If they wanted to print 900 million tethers to themselves, they just do it. Like they've been doing that, right? I honestly think from all the evidence that I've seen, it doesn't have to be more complicated than it is, man. It's I think it is as simple as they couldn't have, no banks would process their funds. They did receive a lot of money over since 2014. They started this relationship with Crypto Capital Corporation, which was a shell company, moved around. It's a professional stand-in payment processor. And who knows how well the interrelational relationships go, or the interpersonal relationships go. Doesn't really matter. I think it is as simple as they gave these guys a lot of money. They lost the money. Bitfinex panicked. Bitfinex took the funds that were backing the Tether Treasury, which were there. I do believe they were there. And now they didn't tell anybody about it. And they're trying to use that money to honor their client withdrawals. They're using that money to trying to turn a profit. I really don't think Bitfinex is as guilty of malfeasance as everybody is saying there. I think they're fucking stupid and they trusted some shady people with money, but I don't know if a lot of people would have done a lot better. So I don't want to pardon Bitfinex. I think that they need to be judged under the light of the truth, and the truth I think has come out. But I really don't think it needs to get any more conspiracy theory than it already is, man. Like what the evidence that we have is pretty straightforward, man. It seems pretty straightforward. I think that the Tether Treasury, I think that the money was there for the Tether Treasury. I think that they got robbed, and I think that they panicked and took the money from the Tether Treasury on some, like, crossroads demon type deal, quick whack-a-noodle type deal, and now they're and now they got found out. And do I think the New York Attorney General's office is guilty of a double standard? Absolutely, because what Bitfinex is doing, or did, or has done, is no different than what Merrill Lynch did. It is no different than what any of the large investment banks did on Wall Street during the 2008 financial crisis. And again, the argument that, well, hey, Bitfinex could potentially make the money back, right? Merrill Lynch did. Yeah, they could. Doesn't change the fact that funds have been mismanaged. Drew Talati, XDN, please. What is that? A digital note. Ooh, it's on Bittrex. Around for a long time. How have I never traded this or heard about this? Well, it seems to me that if we go back, really? We got fucking rich that day. Oh man, everybody looking for that multi-million-dollar bid off $200 margin. Anyways, so it seems to me that the best trades are made on this again when price closes above your baseline, and you can catch a really nice trend. One of those low sat coins that, if you try to day trade it, typically get wrecked. And if you just wait for a good trend, you can catch something really beautiful. Like, it's good for a couple weeks, and then it's something you don't want to touch. And it's good for a couple weeks, and it's something you don't want to touch. I would say I would probably lean more closely to this is something you don't want to touch at the moment, but it depends on how you look at a candle like this. See, I look at a candle like this like a pump and dump. Other people are going to say, oh man, that's accumulation, bro. That's a whale stepping in and buying up. No, this is the whale right here, right? Like, the whale was buying throughout here, and then something caused a lot of people to buy, and then the whale market dumped on them. So, doesn't look like anything I want to touch, man. If you can kind of slow walk your way back above that daily 55, then maybe it gets pretty good. But man, when I see stuff like this, I don't touch these charts, man. When I see stuff like this, I don't want to touch these charts, because 9 times out of 10, it means a pump and dump. And what that means is, and we can also utilize this as a bullish order block. So let's plot the bullish order block out. That'll just keep it nice and simple. Right? And so the danger here is that anybody that bought into this pump and dump is desperate to get out at break even. So anytime price gets back up here, where you have a lot of people entering, even higher, like up here, but this is just being congruent with an order block. They're gonna have their orders there to get out at break even, or maybe even a slight profit, but. Andrew, are you calling your shorts in the premium group on a different platform now? They're tradable on BitMEX, ByBit, or Deribit. In fact, we have people that trade on Bitfinex in the group. Can you take a look at that? Yeah, sure. After we pop back in on Bitcoin here. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this would be the fourth test of the hourly 55. I would not be surprised that if we can get a nice close above the hourly 55, that we do actually get a nice run up here to retest our liquidity. Let's go look at that base contention. Yeah, so what I wanted to happen for an entry didn't happen yet. So if you guys will recall, what I wanted to see, what I had wanted to see was a break, pullback, continuation, right? So that's why I set that alert. As you can see, the alert's still there. We wicked that area. Again, we talked about that first profit target area at 7,900, 7,906. So we did hit that quite nicely. Talked about updating our stop loss to break even, which again, our original buy zone should have been down here, should have been this bullish breaker, and the retest of the daily 13. What is price doing now? Price is testing the daily 13 and respecting it for now. This is in the realm of you have to give it the benefit of the doubt. You have to give it the benefit of the doubt right now, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is a little concerning, the fact that we're about to get a fresh daily cross under. So we could look at this as a fake out potentially. But we haven't closed below the daily baseline. And we still have falling volume on this retracement, which is good to see, right? Good to see. And Wadatar, honestly, Wadatar is telling us really to stay out of a trending trade. So this was the good reversal trade off the daily 13, off the bullish breaker. And again, I think this is still for me in the realm of give it the benefit of the doubt as long as you bought down here. So we already should have taken some profit and updated our stop loss to break even. And so now we just let this thing ride. Do we manually close the trade if price closes below the 13 EMA, the daily 13 EMA? But for right now, it looks good. I mean, let me rephrase that. I understand it doesn't look fantastic, but again, it's in the realm of got to give this baby the benefit of the doubt. We got some nice bullet. We got some buyers that stepped in right there at the retest of the daily 13. So we'll see if they can hold price up. Let's go down to the lower time frame, see what we see here. Yeah, on the 12-hour consolidation, haven't gotten that nice breakout. In fact, this could, you could make the W pattern failed. Let's see if the M pattern plays out. You guys know how I feel about chart patterns. But yeah, same thing here. So now you've got these equal highs. And again, I don't really look for liquidity grabs so much here on altcoins because they just don't tend to. They usually don't tend to trade. It's not that they don't trade in that same fashion. It's just they're not as actionable. You know what I mean? They're just not as actionable. Yeah, there's not a whole lot for me to do on this one, bud. Hold and see if we lose the daily baseline. If we lose the daily baseline, then the trade's over. Whoa, man, that ask side stacked up, baby. Go. There we go. Sir. Sensor charts, why are you broken? Something happened. Alex Vlieve, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, my good friend. Highly appreciated. He asks, short or long BTC should have dumped already. I'm short BTC. I am short BTC. I'm also short Ethereum. And I am long ETH M19. With truly decentralized, they don't need it because numbers don't lie, but none exists yet. True, true. Ricky Thompson says, because of the interest charged to maintain your position. Correct. Yeah, the funding rate. Correct. DEX wouldn't solve the tether issue. Tokenized fiat has counterparty risk by definition. That's absolutely correct, Max. Yes. Dominus Spinay, favorite cold storage I've used, Armory. That's what I currently use for cold storage. Although I also like Bitcoin Core. The Bitcoin Core client has a the Bitcoin Core client has a good cold storage option now in one of the latest updates. Any thoughts on Tesla? You know, yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of the traditional guys that I'm friends with, they were long Tesla. I think that they ended up taking a loss on their positions because basically they were targeting these bull blocks. I want to see some reversal right now, man. Again, like the entire market is really, really negative on Tesla right now, so it seems like objectively like it should be a good buy. But when it comes to traditional equity, man, I don't play around with those reversal games. Oh. It's pretty simple for me. I would look to short from this region right here, and if price breaks above, then we'll reclaim the daily baseline and we'll look for a nice trending trade at least up to our daily 55. So, but would I take a long back up here? Fuck no. This level fails. Here probably. Next breaker. But you know, when something starts dropping at the bottom like that, like looking for reversals does not become, as long as people are trying to buy the bottom, generally the market continues to move down. Only when people stop, the market moves up. Okay. So actually, that's kind of interesting. We did hit that, tap that really beautifully. Well, I don't want to betray my former self. It seems like a pretty asymmetric risk to reward, but it's not the trade I'd take. We'll see how this plays out. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of my buddies, they were talking about going long Tesla like right here. So we'll see if it plays out for them. You know, for me, like I'll wait till we get back up to their buy-in before I might want to take a swing at it. Alex Valieve says, I would have expected a Bitcoin correction a few days ago. Why no dip still? Because buyers and sellers are at equilibrium. I stopped in Winnemucca. Don't ever stop in Winnemucca. Ed McCracken, good morning to you, my good friend. Ed McCracken says, all my positions got stopped out, sitting on the sidelines like a freshman on the high school football team. Did you try to buy the bottom? You tried to buy the bottom, didn't you? Michael Weston, good to see you, my good friend. To the corner I go. Am I familiar with the Quadriga CX exchange? Yeah, you mean the other exchange that was affiliated with Crypto Capital Corporation? Yes. They took $250 million CAD in December, January. CEO died with keys. They had a 1-to-1 token that was never audited. Booyah. Political scientist Nick Snids. Am I a Bitcoin maximalist? I definitely would fall in that camp, definitely. I do, I'm not in the realm that I think that all other coins are scams. I believe in the open source ecosystem of cryptocurrency, but I'm not going to promote a token that doesn't have a use case. I'm not going to say that, yeah, I'm a value investor in something that I don't fundamentally believe in. There's a few things that I do think have fundamental value, right? Like basic attention token, although Gab, that kind of throws that up in the air. But as for right now, I think the basic attention token does have genuine use case. There are other things, like I always liked the idea of Siacoin or, decentralized file sharing or storage. But again, and then, basic attention token. And I liked Oyster before they exit scammed because I thought I liked the general idea of what they're going to do. I think security tokens are going to be really, really good moving forward because you're actually going to have, just like traditional equity, you're going to have actual ownership or a vested interest in the company that you're buying, unlike a token, which is just magical internet money. Trading high leverage, you can get slaughtered if your stop gets gapped. Yes, you can. Would you please take a look at Cardano? Yeah, I think Cardano looks pretty okay, actually. Okay. So, two possible setups on Cardano: buying the bullish breaker or buying the BPC. All right. Cardano's been in a long downtrend. Look at the weekly time frame. Coming back down into the daily block, coming back down into the zone of the breakout. So pretty much a full retracement. If we lose the zone, then we look to buy the bottom. I know, again, I know a lot of other traders went long on Cardano right here, and they're out, and now I'm long on Cardano. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm going to buy their mistakes. We'll see. But I like it. Sounds like they're trying to be a bank, but they don't got the cojones. Since end of week miner sell-off, why are we still holding above 5,000 all this time? Maybe the worst is over, bull market. It's possible, but again, it's just as simple as buyers and sellers are in equilibrium. I would not be surprised to see a short squeeze because if we go over here and look at longs to shorts, they're pretty high. Actually, they're ridiculous. Actually, they're ridiculous. All right, so there's the longs to shorts ratios, right? And to break that down a little bit more, so here's longs. And here's shorts. So typically when you're at the bottom of a downtrend, which I don't think we're at the bottom of the downtrend yet, statistically speaking, but typically you would not, when you see a longs to shorts ratio like that, you wouldn't be surprised to see a squeeze. Especially because you see shorts starting to exit. This is probably the smart shorts that are trying to exit. So if you're not prepared to catch price at a higher, this is the problem with most retail traders, is that they don't wait, right? They don't wait to enter into their position, right? They're gonna want to enter into the chop and think that they're gonna get a long-term position out of the chop. When you're in the chop, when the right move when you're in the chop is to be trading these movements right here, right? Is to be trading these movements right here. And look for critical zones like liquidity or liquidity to establish long-term position. Or, I mean, and you don't even have to do that. Like if your directional bias is to the upside or the downside, then just establish a zone where you want to begin scaling into a position, right? Most people are gonna, I've just seen it time and time again. You've got a chop zone right here, and people are like, okay, I think price is going to go down to 4,000, so I'm going to enter around 5,150, and I'm going to set my stop loss right up here around like 5,200. Okay, you're going to get stopped out, most likely. Thank you, Crypto Caveman. I appreciate that. I think this news is being used to create fear before a bigger run-up. It's possible. I know that's what a lot of people want. Thanks, Crypto Caveman. Stacking Stoner, man. I haven't seen you in a while, bro. Ricky Thompson says they were involved as when I first started in crypto, Quadrigo CX offered us the option to use them as a payment option, but the reviews I read was more negative than positive, so I stuck to Quadrigo. Yeah. Da Vinci, good morning to you, my good friend. Good to see you, brother. Thoughts on ZERP? Nothing's changed since yesterday. Yeah. So this is the analysis that I did yesterday. And basically, okay, so the last bull cycle, or excuse me, the last bear cycle. Let's go to the weekly time frame. The last bear cycle of ZERP lasted 140, 21 weekly bars or 147 days. So I've just plotted that same thing out from the high to the low. So 21 bars, 147 days, and you can see that at the end of that, we reversed on a pretty large candle, right? Not as long here, so from the top to the bottom of the cycle, but just looking at, again, you guys know how I feel about fractals, but I think this is interesting because that would put us back down into this ultimate supportive zone right here. So unless we can get a trending signal by taking out this order block right here, and as long as we're below that on the weekly time frame, so as long as we're below, like, say, 6,000 to 7,000 sats, done. Waiting for 4,000 to 4,500 sats. And if I get I think if we take out this low, or if we come up here and tag the daily 13, I'm going to be looking for any and all opportunities to reshort, which I already have my orders in to reshort here at 13 exponential, but I digress. ZERP was one of those few reversal trades that I took. We were short on ZERP for a long time. Took this trade, got about 4% off of it to the upside on M19, and no, I'm not really doing it. I'll buy it down here. I'll try to sell it here and here. And we've got another 3 weeks. Hopefully another 3 weeks to get from here to here. Last week, I watched a YouTuber said it was done for re-election purposes, as the New York AG is up for re-election. He did it for personal gain. Well, yeah, whatever their intentions were, the fact doesn't matter, or excuse me, that doesn't change the fact that what's the word I'm looking for? That Bitfinex done fucked up. Hold on, guys, I gotta keep an eye on my positions over. No. Stop going sideways now. How do I feel about Bitcoin Cash? Not good. So I want to say Baker. Still short on BCH, guys. I got about 25% of my position left. You guys can see where I shorted it from. No reason to exit the market. Let that thing go all the way down. Cobra will rise. Can you look later if there's time at Ambrosis? Ambrosis was one of those coins that we had some news come out about, and that news was bullshit. We were supposed to get our moon, goddammit. Ugh. Well, I reckon it's at the bottom of the market. At an all-time low? It's below the previous all-time low. That's a mighty good time to buy right there. I don't know. It probably comes up the tags the daily 13. We do have that daily buy signal. The last two didn't work out so well. Why? Because you're trading against the dominant trend. I don't really see a big spike in volume that would indicate the end of the trend. Typically, when you're going to see a strong reversal of a bearish trend, you're going to see a big spike in volume. And honestly, I think with that last little bit of fake news that came out, I think that was probably their exit scam. That's what makes sense to me, right? So, I don't know. This is in zombie coin territory now to me. When something goes below its all-time low, you have officially become a zombie coin until you break a level of resistance. I mean, just one level of resistance. Just one. Just show me that there's bullish potential here. I mean, I'm not saying that this is not a trade, right? Like, I'm not saying that this isn't a trade, right? But it's not a trade I want to take, because when the odds are not in your favor, like, okay, price has been going down on average since May. Okay. That means that if I buy, I'm trading on the wrong side of the market. And I can tell that I'm trading on the wrong side of the market now because we're below my baseline. No, thank you. One of the Billions episode in the past few weeks had the newly elected New York AG, Chuck Rhodes, going after somebody for shady crypto dealings. Did I not like geometry in school, Justin? I was never really good at... I was not good at mathematics when I was young. It's still not my strong suit. It's actually... So the reason why I think that I'm good at explaining trading is because one of its fundamental skills, mathematics, did not come easily to me. So I have found in life that when something comes difficult, when you become good at something that you had to struggle really hard to get good at, so for me that was trading, because when I first started off, I was making every single mistake you could possibly imagine. So I found that I have a pretty good talent for explaining it to people, because it wasn't something that came naturally to me, right? It's something that I had to struggle to learn to understand, because when I first started, I absolutely sucked. And so it's the difference. And you'll notice that when you find somebody, people would think like, oh, somebody is like naturally just so gifted and talented at that, I want to learn from them. Sometimes they're good teachers, but good teachers are hard to find. It took me a long time to find good people to teach me how to trade. Hans Hemkirk. Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. Greetings from Prague. Hey, what's going on, man? Took a very small position in Miota just to see what happens with a tight stop loss, and now up to break even no matter what. Any thoughts on how high this could go? Iota. Miota. Damn, baby. Show me how powerful you can be. Nice trade, man. You got your daily 55 coming in above you at 65.13. Yeah, man. I would be trailing that stop loss up to at least 55.44. Potentially even 55.85, 5600. You want to see price reclaim the top of this high volume node. This looks good, man. Good trade, bro. Just make sure to lock in those profits. Don't got a daily sell. I mean, I don't got anything. No daily sell signal, no nothing. Depending on when you want to trade this. 3 hours about to tell you to get out of the trade, which, again, when you're 30% up, it's not a bad idea. You can look for a re-entry at a lower price. Oh yeah, man. Hey, it's 1:08. I'm 8 minutes past my break. Let me go. Let me go refresh my water because I haven't had a sip of water since I've been doing this, and I'm sick this morning. So let me go get some water. Maybe take some vitamin C. I'll be right back. When I come back, we're gonna look at Tron, Litecoin, and of course we'll look at Steam. Da Vinci. Good to see you, brother. While you guys are waiting. Oh, by the way, congratulations to the T-shirt winners. We had 5 winners of the T-shirt. Or excuse me, 5 T-shirt winners that I'm going to be sending T-shirts out to. I've gotten a hold of 2 of you. 3 of you hadn't got a hold of me. So get a hold of me in Discord if you want. And also, we should be onboarding the last. That's not true because some of you haven't gotten back to me. But the ones who have gotten back to me, it takes a little while to update the server. So we should be getting the last new members to the trading group upgraded and online today, guys. We do have to share a lot of resources with you, our welcome documentation, our videos, our course, our indicators, all our educational material, access to all the channels, access to the database library, and all the tracking sheets. So it's a process, but we're going to get you guys all on today. We already got a good majority of you guys on yesterday. And while you guys are waiting, if you guys would like to head on over to topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com, give us an upvote on there. It does push us up in the Discord server rankings. We're looking for that good number 2 spot, guys. So all you got to do is click vote for us right here. It doesn't cost you anything. And of course, that is topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com if you guys would like to support the stream. I'll be right back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere, guys. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you so much for sticking in there. Sorry the music didn't start right away. Donald J. Trump is bullish. Tron, Litecoin. Go back over here to Bitcoin. The Cobra rising? Or is he going to bite? How do I feel about marijuana to help ease the pain of a bad trade? So I don't use substances. So I have nothing against individuals who use marijuana. Nothing at all. I think CBD oil probably has some very good medicinal purposes. I'm supportive of the legalization of marijuana, but I don't personally use it, and I find that it does not. I don't. I know some traders say that it helps them trade better. I could not tell you from personal experience. Watching from the road today, Android. Using Brave browser right now, get no buffering like Chrome or Firefox when on YouTube. Yeah, I use Brave browser as well. Joint token is very stable, always at 420. POTUS 45 in the hizzy. Hey, Johnny Valentine, good to see you. I keep seeing, Ed says, I keep seeing charts posted on Nano that it's ready to take off to the upside. I don't know. You're going to see that stuff on all kinds of altcoins, dude. Everybody has their, everybody kind of has their moon bags packed and everything, and everybody has a vested interest in their coin pumping. From a technical perspective, this is an interesting time to re-enter Nano. So this is pretty much a full retracement to the equilibrium of the breakout. So again, we charted. This is the last chart that we did for Nano. Now again, when you're catching knives like this, you have to be very conservative about what your target is. So you can see that although I'm targeting a higher target right here, where would I be looking to make my trade a no loss trade? Right here, probably about 3%. Whoa, goodbye Nano. And I'm not in Nano, by the way. This was just an idea. Whoa. There come the Cobras. So, I mean, what are you going to be seeing? What are technical analysts going to be seeing? Well, they're going to be seeing that their oscillator of choice is going to be extremely oversold. They're going to be seeing back to, just basically the same thing that I'm pointing out here, just the pullback to the buy zone. But whenever you're trading against the dominant trend, whenever you're catching a knife, you got to be careful, and your expectations have to be low. Everybody wants to. Here's the thing: everybody has been like trained or taught that you need to buy the bottom, right, and sell the top. Nonsense, right? You need to buy at an okay price and sell at a decent price. That's it. Or short at an okay price and buy back at a decent price. Bring your expectations down a little bit and just look to get a good trade, a good entry. Look at Bitcoin USDC. It started trading when Bitcoin made the low of 2019. So the wick on Kraken was generated by some Bitcoin stolen from Bitfinex funds. Stolen. Yeah, that would be the speculation. So 550 Bitcoin were moved from a wallet address so Bitfinex was hacked supposedly back in 2016 for a number of Bitcoins. Those were transferred to a wallet address. Those Bitcoins never moved, and then they moved 1 hour prior to the flash crash on Kraken. So would not surprise me. And it would make me believe that those funds were not stolen, but they were actually misappropriated by Bitfinex or stolen by somebody who has insider information inside of Bitfinex. I'm a numbers guy now, but it's patience and diligence. How can people go long right now and get liquidated for millions? $10,000 at 100x, 50,000 at 50x, 100,000 at 10x. You bought, dump it. Vitalik, I need you to pump Ethereum for the next 2 hours. Old Bogdanov. Oof. A lot of buying right there. In the arms of the angels. If we can reclaim VWAP, there might be a long on the table. Steam. And I really like Steam too. Alex Lee, thanks so much for the $2, man. I appreciate it, man. Would I? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Would I? I lost your comment already. Would I 20x short this Bitcoin crap of a chart? No. No, not at this point in time. I want to see us lose 50.90. If we actually close the hourly below 50.90, then we're not going to recover. And we're gonna hit 40. It's not a bad R2R right now, but again, you want to be careful. You got a lot of bullwicks coming in, man. A lot of people are trying to buy this up, and we just got to see. I mean, you just got to be patient and wait and see if the buyers are going to be able to push price up, because the buyers are able to stop price from moving down. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to push price up. That's two completely different things, right? Eventually, the market's going to step in, and you're going to have aggressive buying or selling, and that's the side of the market that you want to be on. And for me, I think if we looked at the lower time frame there, we looked at that 5-minute VWAP. That would be aggressive if we can get back above that 5-minute VWAP right there. But if we can get back above the hourly 55, I think we've tagged it 1, 2, 3 times. We've tagged it 4 times. It's getting weak. If we can get a nice close above that, then we're probably going to run these areas right here. We're gonna grab this liquidity above 5,200. We're gonna grab this liquidity probably above 5,250 as well. I would wait before 50.90 gets taken out again to momentum short. Yay, my Amazon order shipped. Bitfinex just made another withdrawal from cold storage. I'm sure to cover withdrawals that are coming out of their to cover the withdrawals. Bitfinex is getting bank run right now. I told everybody to get out of Bitfinex. I would be nowhere near that exchange. Henry Weinecker, thanks so much for the subscription on YouTube. Pleased to meet you, my good friend. I don't think... Oh, that's crazy. Believe it or not, Scott, I'm installing Winamp right now. Because I never reinstalled Winamp on the new computer. Roll up just a little bit. Wendy says, what did I miss? I was watching Game of Thrones. Is it good? I was thinking about getting the HBO season to watch Game of Thrones. Thinking about going and watching Avengers Infinity War tonight too, but it just depends on, honestly, it depends on what the markets do. If everything kind of goes as planned, then I can just lock in my, move my stop losses down to profit, then I'll be okay. Robert Kirk, good to see you. CBD is super legit, IMO. Checks your emotions, but needs to be the right amount. Yeah, and then like you got indica, you got sativa. Some are good for the day, some are good for the night. Does anyone know the status of the ETF pending? Oh, what is my Bitcoin position short? Got an average entry of around 52.35. Secondary account, I've got a lower entry. Lower account, it's about 51.73 on my secondary account. EOS next Ethereum, where is Litecoin going? Over 1,000. Over 1,000. So crypto is dead then. Red 5 Golf Gunny, I haven't seen you for a while. Mahendra Jain says, which exchange is that? This one right here? This is just tensor charts. This is just a way of looking at price. This is BitMEX. What do I say to people who say that trading is a zero-sum game? It is. Life is not a zero-sum game, but trading is. To sell at a good price, somebody has to buy at a bad price. To sell at a good price, somebody has to buy at a bad price. I avoid elf token, burned my throat, and gave me a headache. I'm short on elf. Yep. Hey, Mahendra, I am live every single day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. CDT, and Saturday and Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. Crypto Kitty says, ordered Amazon a week and a half ago, longest ever, had to wait for a package. Maybe the divorce is affecting things. Yeah, Kratom is one that Kratom is one that was recommended me to try. I just, I don't I'm pretty good with water and vitamin C, guys. I'm already a professional trader, so I don't want to get I feel like I gamble for a living. So I feel like substances might not be the best thing for me. Cryptomanot, thanks so much for the support. I appreciate that. I got about a half hour left in the show. I think people want us to look at Tron, Litecoin. Yeah. Oh, it's been a while since I've heard that one.
Winner. It really whips the llama's ass.
Oh, shoot. Where's that? Sure. Let's finish looking at this. Hold on, I wanted to finish looking at this theme for DaVinci real quick. Yeah, man, I think your good entries were right here, buying this bullish order block up. Stop slightly below it, probably at the low of these candles, and I'd have an initial target of that 13 daily. Or shoot, what am I doing on the 3-hour chart? Yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable with. Okay. Well, okay, now that I'm actually looking at the daily. So yeah, I don't see a volume spike that would indicate the end of the trend. This was reactionary and a continued rejection from the 13. Typically when you get that rejection from the 13, man, price continues down quite a bit. You've been in a strong bearish trend for a long time. Now you've broken below. Yeah, Steam is at an all-time low. Good on it, man. 3 hour, got that double bounce opportunity. So that's like a 3% reversal trade. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad double bottom trade though. You want to be careful though. Yep, that was winning out. Yep, I would have had a nice pump off that Jaguar event. Good pumpamentals. Tron and Litecoin. I looked at Tron last night at the close of the weekly candle. And do you have? Are you coming up on a? You're coming up on a daily block, but I don't have any bids set. All right. So kind of similarly here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 weekly green dots of awesomeness before the actual reversal. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on week 7. We're on week 7. So I'm just going to wait until we get some bullish reversal on the daily. Let's go to the 3-day here on Tron. We're kind of holding that bottom kind of okay. Same thing happened over here though. Same thing happened over here. So the only thing that's good about this is this daily order block right here. And let me actually see if I should redraw this. Yeah, I feel like I should definitely quite honestly. Actually draw that to be more accurate. So where do we actually have a shift in market structure? Here. Yeah, because that's the level that gets broken. Hold, consolidate. Yeah. So I want to use this level right. Now that we've kind of come closer to the crux of the matter. There we go. That line up on the. I think that lines up really well on the weekly. I mean, you could be way more aggressive and use this as a bull block, but I don't have the pockets for that. I think that's a good daily block, and it's a really. You can see here it's the top of the market. It's the top of the market. You actually find support here, breaks through, confirm resistance, rejection, rejection, fake out, rejection, cleanly broken, back tested as support, and then you kick off. So that would be a full retracement back to your breakout zone. So would I want to short down to that zone? I kind of would. I mean, we just got rejected from that daily 13 after the retest. And if we fail this little, baby bitch double bottom, then yeah, I'd want to short down to that block. So down to like 379, 357 sats, and I'd look to be a buyer there. Unless we have a trend reversal. So yeah. Down 6% on Icon. What should I do now? Ooh, that's pretty ugly. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. What happens when I don't have any music to listen to? Okay, we got some music. Add files, download. The heck? Did not download? Oh, here we go. Open. Bruh. Okay. Oh, okay, I see the problem. My bad. There we go. I fixed it. There we go. You guys let me know. That's too loud. It's getting toward the end of the show. I did want a little background music. We looked at IOTA a little bit, Tony, but yeah, I mean, we have no idea how high it can go. Enter DJ voice reintroducing Justin on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, to the stage. Let's see here. Start the rave. Too loud still? Take it down to negative 35 decibels. crackingcryptocurrency.com/merch. Cryptominot. Hopefully that's better. Let me know, guys. Robert Kirk says, I'm pretty new to your channel. Was just wondering, do I ever use harmonics? No, I do not. Harmonics are... I just popped 2 rolls. Okay, Icon Man. Yeah, this doesn't look good, man. So I was looking for a breaker. So, okay, where do we have a significant shift in market structure? You have a couple good arguments. You have one here and you have one here. And to be honest with you, I think I like this one because we can see how it's respected over here. So yeah, this was the last potential buy zone, man. And you can see how buys in that area was a good idea. Especially, listen, here's something you want to understand about bullish breakers and horizontal support and resistance. So the concept of how a bullish breaker is formed, or how a horizontal level of support and resistance is formed, is one thing. But actually, the strategy, the edge in trading a bullish breaker is generally on the first pass through, right? You don't take double bottoms off bullish breakers. You don't, hope that support holds at a bullish breaker. Bullish breakers are a trading strategy, right? And what that means is that when price is free falling, you set limit orders inside the bullish breaker and hope to catch a wick, as you can see. So if we're targeting this bullish breaker right here, if you would have had limit orders set there, guess what you would have caught? You would have caught this move right here. Could have made a quick 10%, potential up to 16% if you would have sold the top. But again, here's on the daily chart, you would have had some bids there. You're taking profit at the 13 and at the 55, or whatever profit taking targets you're utilizing. If you're using Quadriga ATR, for example. So you would have taken some profits at 72.93. Boom. And you also would have taken some profits at 77.97. Yep, you hit that. You pretty much sell the top of that candle. Which is quite nice. Lay out the cardboard. I'm a bust to move. What's the best website for mining? You have to ask Scott that. I think it's whattomine.com. I'm not huge in the mining, my good friend. Scott is though. I think alts will go up after Bitcoin stays above 6,400 USD. If it goes below 4K, again, new bottoms for alts. Yeah, we're already seeing the new bottoms for alts, man. I mean, what's interesting is that the rest of the market is telling you what Bitcoin is likely to do. Everything is dropping, and Bitcoin just wants to hang out in the air, and people are like, oh, we're going to 7K. It's much more likely that Bitcoin sees significantly lower lows. Typically, after a high momentum move to the downside and consolidation, you get continuation of the downside. So would I momentum short this at this point in time? No, I want to see 5090 fail. If I want to see 5090 fail, or I want to get refilled up here. How do I earn Bitcoin fast? I mean, there's no cheap, easy way to get money, man. But there's ways to earn Bitcoin, man. You can work for it, work for Bitcoins. I think that's the name of the website. Back in the day, I did some journalism work on there. I wrote articles. Find somebody to pay you in Bitcoin, buy some Bitcoin. Maybe don't invest in cloud mining, but I'm going to get your thoughts on Bitcoin dominance and how it may assist in estimating the market trend. Yeah, sure. So typically the way that I look at Bitcoin dominance, we haven't looked at our long-term fundamentals today. We'll look at that before we get off the air. So let's look at Raymond Cheek says, we saw 5090 fail and it got bought right back up. No, 5090 didn't fail because it got bought back up. 5090 fails when we close the hourly below it. Nemenja Trimchevik says, when can I make an episode about Ichimoku on Crypto 101? It should be out before the end of this week. So I've got a ton of videos that I got to do this week. Well, I've got most of them done, but I got to finish up all the videos on my on the first chapter of my new course on strategy building for the Primos. I've got to make the companion video for my new Minx indicator. And I've also have to do the Ichimoku 101, which is almost done. I have the entire script written out, and I've got portions of it recorded, so I just need to finish that up and put it through edit. But that is actually going to come out this week, assuming nothing crazy happens. And it'll also highlight CC Ichimoku, which is the indicator that I've created for Ichimoku. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance on an absolute tear, man. This is not good for altcoins. So when you see, it's very simple, man. All you need to do is throw a baseline on your chart. And I know this is going to be simple, but simple is going to work better than what a lot of people have currently. So we have a baseline. It can be a moving average. It can be an Ichimoku level, which is going to be a Donchian moving average essentially. But your trend is on what, is price above or below your baseline. Is baseline moving up? And as you can see here, our 13 daily exponential moving average for Bitcoin dominance, we're in a strong uptrend on Bitcoin dominance. So you're not looking to you're really not looking to have long-term positions on alts. All Infinity, man. I'm sorry, dude. I did not see your donation. My apologies, man. Thank you for the 800 for the 800 forint. Do I think BNB could go lower? Well, we just broke the looking at BNB, man. We just broke that potentially. Yes. Yeah, we looked at BNB a little bit earlier, man. And we're losing our daily baseline right now. And if we lose our daily baseline, and if we end up closing the daily below this, then we look for price to come back down here another 7 or 8%, at least to tag our daily 55 exponential moving average. If that breaks, then lower. We got the daily sell signal that basically kept us out of this. This was a good buy off the retest of our daily 55, and we got this daily sell signal right here, basically telling us to kind of stay out again out of all this. So, BNB has been in a very nice, obviously, BNB, the pump coin of 2019, man. Get yourself somebody who's got some BNB like CZ's got BNB, man. And, quite simple. You get that if you're unsure about the cross of a trend, man, you're in a strong downtrend for a whole long time. And right here, you get that nice, beautiful cross up of the daily 13 and 55. And that's when you should, no doubt, be in a trending long. Take some profits here, take some profits here. Take some profits here, take some profits here, and you're out. You're going to be looking to be out of this pretty soon, but we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying that BNB can't just continue on its bullish tear. You don't want to be the dude calling the top in a bull market or the bottom in a bear market, but at the same time, we're getting indications that the trend is exhausting, right? This distributive pattern right here, we're getting some distribution right here. We're about to lose the daily baseline, so it's just an early warning sign to be out of the trade. We'll see if our buy zone gets bought up again, but if we lose this, then we wait for a trend reversal to buy, or our next breaker, which is going to be down here. It's all the way down at 00275. Looking at BNB USDT. Gonna have to. Oh, I think this is a weekly time frame, right? Yeah, weekly block. Yeah, similarly for BNB USDT, man. You only got a few daily sell signals. 1, 2, 3 opportunities to take profit. So we saw this exact same thing down here on our 13 daily EMA. We saw price come back down into our buy zone because we had this breaker. And I think, honestly, we need to redo this chart. Yeah, so on BNB, this technically is our daily bullish breaker. You can see how it got bought up, but we're slowly going to disrespect this area. Same for BNB USDT. If we lose this area, man, I mean, Probably going to come down here and tag some support, unless it's just a fake out, and then you don't know it's a fake out. You have to wait till price reclaims the trend line and continue moving up. So we've seen this before in BNB, and generally when this happens, I mean, you have ample time. Like, okay, what if it's just a fake out? What if it's just a fake out? That's cool. We'll just wait until it gets back above the trend line and breaks the level of resistance to take our trade. So I want to see the daily close back above the 13 daily EMA on both, on the Bitcoin pairing and the USDT pairing. Why do I see a close below 50.90 as a short signal? Why not the other wicks? Because I don't want to wait until 50.50 or 49.60 to short. Because we have equal lows here that get taken out. We see this grab for liquidity right here. And then if this level ends up getting disrespected again and gets closed below, I'm going to go ahead and take the chance and short. I mean, I'm already short, but that's when if you were looking to short, if you were looking to momentum short, that's where I'd look to go short. If you're looking for a breakout or breakdown entry. And similarly, if price gets back up here above this hourly 55, I'll probably look to take an alternative. I'll probably take an alternative long on my secondary account and look to tag these areas of liquidity up here. And that might turn into something beautiful. You never know. And that way, if I do have to exit my short at break even or a slight loss, well, it can't be a slight loss now because my stop loss is a break even, but then that hedges against it quite nicely. Yeah, all infinity for sure, man. You got to be happy with taking profit. I mean, listen, here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I do not care about BNB. I don't care about CZ. I don't care about the tech. I don't care about none of that stuff, right? I care about buying here, watching price go up, and selling it higher. And since November, I mean, geez, man. You're balling, bro. Ballin'. Gaurav Gupta, thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube. Highly appreciate it, my good friend. Sorry, Scott. Let me get back to that dominance chart. Yeah, so he says, what did you say over here, man? Yeah, BNB of altcoins for sure, man. Now you can go down to the lower time frames and basically look for these sell signals in BTC dominance, right? You can use these lower time frame sell signals. Like here's a good one on the hourly, but you can see two kind of fake ones here. But this is a pretty good one, and you just take your chances. And you see BTC tethered. You see BTC dominance drop quite a bit over 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and that's kind of like your window to maybe make an altcoin trade, right? Because if Bitcoin dominance is moving down, that means money is flowing from Bitcoin elsewhere, ideally into alt. So if you have an alt with a good setup, this can be a good indicator to look at to take the trade, to actually trigger the trade. Funnily enough, let's look at tether dominance. You know, what's funny is that Tether is still holding that gap up, man. Tether's still holding that gap up and trending pretty strongly to the upside, right? Which does not bode well for the cryptocurrency market in general. Especially if we go look at the total crypto market cap, we can just see that absolute rejection from that bearish order block and now losing that daily baseline, right? just consolidating at and now underneath that daily baseline. Similarly, that we consolidated above it, ended up breaking down because this was a weak ascending channel, wicked into our bearish order block and rejected, man. So, and the market cap for altcoins looks even worse. I mean, we are resting on our 55 daily EMA here, and we're going to get squeezed, but we'll see. I mean, we got now that we're here, I mean, you could make reversal buys on some of your altcoins, especially if they have good setups, but just be cautious out there, guys. Let's go check in with GBDC. All right, GBDC hit downturn take profit 1. See if we can come down here and tag take profit 2, test our daily 55. Yep, double top rejection. BNB in a hyperwave? Not really, but holy cow. Bought in, so need to sell and wait for a pullback or dollar cost average. I'm lazy, so most likely with dollar cost average. I would recommend that you don't be lazy and that you don't dollar cost average into something that's going down. That is the number. That is. So I have a list of common mistakes that retail traders make, right? And without fail, dollar cost averaging is almost at the top when I talk to new students or new traders who want to learn. And I ask them like, okay, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, you know, I buy, and then sometimes the trade goes against me, so I just like get a little bit of a better average price. I'm like, stop doing that. That's your biggest mistake, because when you actually end up taking a loss on that coin, you're going to lose more money because you put more money into the coin. So don't be afraid to take a loss. You know, cutting a loss small is one of the biggest skills that you can have as a trader, right? Because again, it's about preserving capital. The good trades will come, right? A lot of people don't understand this. People think that trading is getting like the best entries all the time, and I'm just magic and I can figure this all out. A lot of it's about reducing risk, about reducing loss, because the good trades will come just by accident sometimes, right? You know, you enter into a trade and then it tears off 50% and you're like, holy, I did not expect that. Anybody's like, oh, I know for sure this coin's gonna appreciate 20%. They're blowing smoke, man. You just look for a good entry and you just hold on, right? And all you're doing in the role of a professional trader, so my day-to-day job is making sure that I reduce my losses, right? Cut trades quickly, I hedge, I look to get into other assets, I look for strategic places, I don't dollar cost average down into a losing trade. And yeah, that's it. So all I'm trying to do is survive until the next good trade comes, right? Good trades, a lot of money, hold on to that money, reduce my losses, don't get eaten up in the chop. Next good trade, awesome, great. On-ramp for IPO, used for fees on the exchange. They're burning coins to reduce total allocation. Plus, you get rewarded for the volume due in the exchange by its going up in price. True, man. Yeah, because the worst thing that can happen is you begin dollar cost averaging into a coin, and then a trade becomes an investment, and then, you know, you're just hoping for a recovery pump, you know, 6 months later. Meanwhile, you've lost 6 months of trading opportunity. Let's go see what the CMEs are doing. CME's daily is pamping a little bit. Not really impressively so. Yeah, so a little bit not the same, but a little bit similarly. Yeah, if we can reclaim this this hourly 55, we could look for a long. It's nothing that I'm going to do right now, though. Right. Yeah, you can dollar cost average on an uptrend. Yeah, I much prefer scaling into a winning position than scaling into a losing position. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, you guys know what time it is. Well, of course, guys, thank you so much for watching me today. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you guys are, of course, trading safely out there. Thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube. Matrix clones grow thick. Highly appreciated. I hope you guys, again, trade very safely out there. I highly appreciate the support. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you want to support us and you want to make sure that you never miss an episode, make sure to hit that subscription bell and also the notification. Yeah, just go ahead and hit the bell because, you know, YouTube algorithm isn't probably going to alert you anyways because they think cryptocurrency is like some dark shady thing. Plus, they're also creating their own YouTube coin to compete with Bitcoin. So, you know, it's whatever, you know. Of course, if you want to come follow us or give us a subscription over on Twitch as well, that is twitch.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Of course, all the links are in the description down below, but I would like to point out our Discord, obviously, as well as if you'd like to trade along more closely with me, get insights into our strategies and learn how we trade the market, you can, of course, check the link up at the top of the screen. And of course, I do recommend that you check out our ByBit link down there if you're tired of system overload. So I am on a mission to actively get people off of BitMEX onto a better exchange. Don't have to use the link if you don't want to, but I do highly recommend that you get onto a platform that allows you to trade with your money when you want to trade with your money, and not only when the whales want to not let you trade with your money on the platform. So anyways, guys, make sure that you trade safely out there. I will be here tomorrow at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. CDT. I'll make sure I get all the t-shirts sent out today for the winners of the t-shirt giveaway, and I'm going to be working for the rest of the day to get everybody onboarded that needs to be onboarded and on the new videos coming out soon. So until tomorrow, guys, take it easy. Trade safely.